Multiple Intelligence. And let us start the session by asking me you a simple question. What is intelligence? आप intelligence से क्या समझते हैं? Could you please type it in your chat box? Very good. Presence of mind, mental ability, mental health, ability to understand things. Very good. Now, can you tell me whom do we call intelligent? As teachers, whom do we call intelligent in our classrooms? हम कब बोलते हैं कि बच्चा इंटेलिजेंट है? Intelligence is outside the boundaries of classroom. Very good. IQ level. Pay attention, sharp mind, rational thinking, mental health. The capacity for abstraction, logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning. Good. Very good. I have a very learned audience in front of me. So, with that note, I would like to present before you what is intelligence. Intelligence has been defined in many ways. It is the capacity for abstraction, logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning, reasoning, planning, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. It can be described as the ability to perceive or infer information and to retain it as knowledge to be applied towards adaptive behavior within an environment or context. So we see intelligence is quite a global thing. It encompasses of various abilities. We tend to infer that a person who is good at speaking, a person who is good at solving mathematical questions, people who have a scientific bent of mind, we try to consider them intelligent. But in totality, if we see that intelligence is not only limited to numerical abilities or scientific bent of mind, it encompasses a lot of abilities and like trying to understand, acquire knowledge, and whatever knowledge we have acquired, how to apply it in our day-to-day situations and how to manipulate our environment and then draw a conclusion, come to a solution to the problems. All these encompass what is intelligence. So it is the ability to think, reason, question and draw conclusions. We usually say that iski IQ बहुत high है. Those people who have an IQ of more than 130 are considered to be people having quite a sharp brain, they are considered quite intelligent. So can you please type it? जिनका IQs high है, वो किस field में excel करते हैं? In which field do they excel? यूजुअली जो बच्चे हमारे यहाँ 90% आता है तो बेसिकली हम देखते हैं उनके मैथ्स के मार्क्स क्या हैं, उनके साइंस के मार्क्स क्या हैं, राइट? क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, साइंस, कंप्यूटर, एवरी फील्ड, ऑल राउंड एरिया. बट जब मार्क्स की बात आती है और बोर्ड रिजल्ट को प्रेजेंट करना होता है तो हमारे सभी टीचर्स का फोकस होता है कि मैथ्स में कितने मार्क्स आए, साइंस में कितने मार्क्स आए. या हमारे बच्चे भी यही सोचते हैं कि अगर आईक्यू तेज है तो इसका मतलब है कि वो जरूर मैथ्स में अच्छा होगा. बट हम आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देना चाहते हैं. आई जस्ट शो यू पीपल विथ हाई IQ, बट they have excelled in different fields, and they are, all of us know who Shakira is. Her IQ is 140 and she at one time was a popular singer. Sharon Stone, an actress, being an actress, her IQ was 154. Then we have Sophia. She was a mathematician and writer with the IQ of 170. Stephen Hawking, a physicist with the IQ of 160. So it doesn't matter. If you have an IQ, you have to excel in a particular field. You can excel in all the areas with a high IQ. So that was the need to understand that intelligence isn't just related to numerical or linguistic capacities of a person, it is much more. Therefore, there was a need to understand what is intelligence. And this theory of multiple intelligence was propounded by Howard Gardner in his book, The Frames of Mind. Here, he broadens the definition of intelligence and outlines several distinct types of intellectual competencies. Multiple intelligences refer to a theory describing the different ways the students learn and acquire information. These multiple intelligences range from the use of words, numbers, pictures, and music to the importance of social interactions, introspection, physical movement, and being in tune with the nature. So, based on Howard Gardner's theory, there are 8 types of intelligences. Of late, we talk about the ninth type of intelligence also, but we will keep our discussions open only for these 8 types of intelligences, and those being verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, visual spatial, interpersonal, intrapersonal, bodily kinesthetic, naturalistic, and musical. Why is it important to learn about Gardner's multiple intelligence? Well, it is important to learn about Gardner's multiple intelligence because when we work in a classroom situation, we have to interact with students. We are trying to reach out to students who have their kind of intelligence. Someone would be able, we have to apply to so many different kinds of intelligence. बहुत सारी अलग अलग बुद्धि के बच्चे होते हैं. Different smart people they are. Some may be verbally smart, some may be musically smart, some may be body kinesthetically smart. So we need to understand this theory of multiple intelligence. To understand ourselves also better, we need to know about this multiple intelligence. जब बच्चों को आपको मार्गदर्शन करना होता कि आपको किस करियर में जाना चाहिए, तो भी इसकी इस इंटेलिजेंस की बहुत ज़रूरत होती है. हमें देखना पड़ता है कि हमारे बच्चे कौन-सा करियर ऑप्शन अपने अनुरूप, अपने बौद्धिक क्षमता के अनुरूप चूज़ कर सकें. एंड व्हेन वी आर इंटरैक्टिंग विथ अदर्स फॉर आवर सोशल इंटरैक्शंस आल्सो, फॉर अ स्मूथ सोशल इंटरैक्शन आल्सो, इट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. जब आप अपने कोलीग्स के साथ काम करते हैं तो आपको समझना होगा एट व्हाट लेवल इज देयर इंटेलिजेंस and how you can interact with them better. Now, let us come to the first kind of intelligence, that is the verbal linguistic. Verbal linguistic involves the sensitivity to spoken and written language, the ability to learn languages, and the capacity to use language to accomplish goal. ये जो वर्बल लिंग्विस्टिक टाइप के इंटेलिजेंट लोग होते हैं, वो अपने सीखने की प्रक्रिया में वर्ड्स का, लैंग्वेज का ज्यादा उपयोग करते हैं. These learners have highly developed auditory skills and are generally elegant speakers. When they are presented with a problem, they tend to think in terms of words rather than pictures or any type of other things. And they have good oratory skills also. They are very fond of words and they think in words rather than in picture. It is the person's ability to understand and reason using concepts framed in words. It is also defined as a person's ability to use words and their combinations effectively when it comes to analyzing information, communication and problem solving. इनको कभी भी जब सिचुएशन को एनालाइज करना होता है, इंफॉर्मेशन को एनालाइज करना होता है या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग की स्किल्स आती है, दे यूज टू थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ वर्ड्स. इनके लिए वर्ड्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इनके लिए लैंग्वेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. These can in they express oneself effectively through speeches or the written word and the ability to learn foreign languages. इनमें हर तरह के लैंग्वेज को सीखने की भी क्षमता अधिक होती है. Characteristics of people with high verbal intelligence: they love to read and write, They have strong editing skills. They enjoy learning cool, meaningful, and rare words. They talk about what they read. They remember excerpts from books, love punctuation and rhythms in texts. They enjoy dealing with foreign languages as well as their mother tongue. कभी कभी हम लोगों ने देखा है कि कुछ लोग जब कुछ बहुत प्रभावशाली ढंग से बातें करते हैं, they put quotations in their written form, or while they are speaking they have a very good sense of poetry. They might जो कभी उन्होंने पढ़ा होगा किसी eloquent speaker का, तो वहां वो किस तरह से उसको यूज करना है, ये उन्हें बहुत अच्छी तरह से आता है. Activities to improve verbal linguistic skills. हमारे बच्चों में इस तरह के स्किल्स को हम कैसे कर सकते हैं इम्प्रूव? सो वी कैन रीड आउट स्टोरीज, वी कैन एनकरेज देम टू रीड स्टोरीज, poems, plays, news, etc. We can also ask them to socially be interactive. We can engage them in debates, discussions, and other sorts of interactions. We can stimulate their imagination. कभी कभी हम पिक्चर कॉम्पोजिशन देते हैं इंग्लिश के क्लासेस में या हिंदी की क्लासेस में. वो क्यों देते हैं? So that their imagination and creativity can be expressed through those pictures and they can put their imagination in words. Then we can motivate our children to keep a journal. We can also ask them to write letters. We can ask the children to learn a new language with CBSE, giving focus on three languages up to class 8 is also one of the reasons why they are doing so, to improve the linguistic skills of the people. Then again we will say आप ये भी जैसे use a new word a day a practice. आप अपने अपने क्लासेस में एक वीक में 4 या 5 न्यू वर्ड्स को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, और जो भी इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं at the end of the week, what you can ask them to frame sentences with these words. So ask your child to use what they learn. Have conversation with your child. आप अपने बच्चों को समझा सकते हैं, especially in the primary section. They have to learn to answer in full sentences. Do not accept answer, a one word answer from them. Ask them to frame a proper structured answer in a complete sentence. So these are the ways how we can improve the linguistic skills or the linguistic intelligence of the students. The career options which are open to such students are copywriter, editor. You can go through this list. And now let me bring some examples of people who have high verbal linguistic intelligence. Now, the next intelligence is logical mathematical. What is this intelligence? Logical mathematical intelligence is the ability to analyze situations or problems logically, to identify solutions, to conduct scientific research, and to solve logical mathematical operations easily. मुझसे कोई पूछता है कि 1 करोड़ में कितने जीरो होंगे, तो मुझे 2 मिनट लगता है समझने में. बट आप देखते होंगे आपके क्लास में कुछ बच्चे ऐसे हैं जिनको आप कुछ कैलकुलेशंस देते हैं और वो फटाफट कर देते हैं. ये जिनकी लॉजिकल मैथमेटिकल इंटेलिजेंस स्ट्रांग होती है, दोज पीपल दे हैव दिस एबिलिटी टू रीजन. उनकी तार्किक क्षमता बहुत हाई होने के चलते, unless you give them a solid logic, they are not ready to understand. They will not take your words just for the face value of it. You have to make them realize the importance of your words by giving logic. And if you are logically able to make them understand things, everything will start falling in place. इनकी थोड़ी they have this habit to work in steps and they are very fond of these numerical patterns. आप छोटे बच्चों को देते हैं ना, follow the pattern and draw the missing patterns. So children with high mental this logical mathematical skill, they are able to do it very easily. They are curious about the world around them. These learners ask a lot of questions and like to do experiments. Characteristics of people with high mathematical intelligence. These people are very, very organized. They like organization. They love to classify things in the right order. इनके लाइफ में ऑर्डरलीनेस का बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है. एंड डिटेक्ट एंड रिकॉग्नाइज पैटर्न. This organization skill is useful in statistics, logistics, graph theory, geometry, etc. Logical reasoning. For these individuals, logic is the watchword. Everything in the world has a logical reason behind it. They believe in getting to the root of the problem, analyze the patterns, detect the reason behind every क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, और इसके बाद क्या हो सकता है. They have to have that step by step approach, and that logic has to be there. And they will not believe in anything without strong evidence. They have a scientific bent of mind. हम लोग पढ़ाते हैं ना बच्चों को बहुत तरह की चीजें, बट कभी क्या वो बच्चे घर जाके वो एक्सपेरिमेंट कैरी आउट करते हैं? तो जिन लोगों की मैथमेटिकल इंटेलिजेंस हाई होती है, दे टेंड टू डू एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ऑन देयर ओन. These people have also high mathematical skills, and they have this problem solving skills and critical analysis skills. They have abstract ideas and patterns. They analyze every problem from a critical perspective, and such skills are very, very useful in programming and related fields. So let us see what is the career option for these people. There are certain activities which will be helpful to improve their intelligence, like we can give them board games like chess and all. Then we can present them with some brain puzzles. We can give them some riddles to solve, ask some tricky questions, and we can also ask them to write stories. How will writing stories help them? Well, we can ask them to provide an outline for the story. Then logically or step by step, they will say what will happen, then what happened, what will be the outcome of it. So that logical sequencing will be there. So writing stories will also be a helpful activity for such intelligence. Now, career options. You can go through the list of career options available for the students who are having the high mathematical reasoning capacity. Now let us come to the examples of people who possess high logical intelligence. Next in line is the Visual Spatial Intelligence. What is the Visual Spatial Intelligence? Visual Spatial Intelligence is the ability to visualize objects' positions, shapes, movements, and their relationships to other objects. ये लोगों के दिमाग में चलता है. वो सामने वो ऑब्जेक्ट प्रेजेंट नहीं भी हो तो भी उनके दिमाग में एक पिक्चर चल रही होती है कि इसका पोजीशन कहाँ होना चाहिए. किसी को भी अगर इस जगह को, इस चीज को, इस ऑब्जेक्ट को उठा के इस जगह से दूसरी जगह रखा जाएगा तो उसका क्या इमेज आएगा वो उनके दिमाग में बहुत क्लियर होता है. So visual spatial intelligence is the ability to visualize objects' positions, shapes, movements, and their relationship to other objects. It is the capacity to being able to mentally picture how objects will look when they are moved and how that will change their relationship to other objects. कभी कभी हम देखते हैं कि कुछ लोग बिना जीपीएस के भी उनकी मैप रीडिंग स्किल्स इतनी अच्छी होती हैं सो दैट व्हाइल फाइंडिंग देयर डायरेक्शंस दे डोंट नीड अ जीपीएस. हम लोगों को क्या है, हम लोगों जैसे आदमी को जरूरत पड़ती है जीपीएस की. वी डू नॉट नो, वी आर नॉट मच अवेयर कि कहाँ नॉर्थ साउथ ईस्ट वेस्ट. हम लोग जानते तो जरूर हैं बट उसको अप्लाई कैसे करना है वो नहीं समझ पाते हैं. सो विजुअल स्पेशल स्किल्स इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. The characteristics of people with high visual spatial skills are they understand the entire picture at once, they see the complete picture before looking at the details, they learn quickly through visual materials, They don't like a step by step method of learning. Unlike the mathematically oriented people, they don't like a step by step method of learning. Instead of thinking in words, they think in pictures. They may look disorganized. They find it hard to explain a step by step process since they view it as a whole. Activities to improve spatial intelligence. Use spatial language in everyday interactions. When you're trying to talk to a child, talk to them in kind of spatial language. It is a square, it is a circle, the sun is a sphere, or look at that triangular piece of pizza, like that. Then this is a big, this is large, this is small. So use such language in your day-to-day interaction with the students. It helps a lot. Teach through gestures and encourage children to use them to explain spatial relationships. आपके हाव भाव, आपकी मुद्राएं, ये भी बहुत important है spatial intelligence को improve करने के लिए. Teach children how to visualize using their mind's eye. उनकी आंखें बंद करा के उनको दूर ले जाइए कहीं. Ask them to imagine, visualize with their eyes closed about the various characteristics about a scene that has happened in their life. So this kind of imagination visualization also helps the children in developing their spatial intelligence. Give them games like playing with Lego toys or Jenga toys, building block games, etc. Map reading in social sciences also very very important. Give them tangrams, ask them to play with folded papers. You can ask them to have origami, and a lot of activities are there through which you will be able to enhance the spatial intelligence of the students. Career options: photographer, graphic designer, painter, sculptor, genetist, biochemist, etc. People with high visual spatial intelligence, there are a few examples, and Chitra Vishwanathan is the leading architect of India. And why is visual spatial skills required? Because these days more and more jobs require visual spatial skills. It is used to be the turf of architects and designers. But now an increasing amount of programming, computing and tech jobs also require people to be able to really manipulate objects in space. That manipulation has to be there mentally, and then in the actual field they can do it in their day-to-day lives. You need to be visual. You need this skill to be able to think abstractly and understand how details fit together to create a big picture. They think of the big picture, they think of the entire picture rather than talking in pieces. Now comes the interpersonal intelligence. These people, they have the ability to relate and understand others. These learners try to see things from others' point of view and often have an uncanny ability to sense the feelings, intentions, and motivations of others. They are great organizers. Generally, they try to maintain peace in group settings and encourage cooperation. Interpersonal intelligence is the ability to understand how people feel and then interact with them in a way that is appropriate for the situation. पहले समझना कि दूसरे की फीलिंग क्या है, दूसरे के इमोशंस क्या है, वो उस वक्त कैसा फील कर रहा है. उसके बाद how should I react to the situation? What should be my reactions? So people with high interpersonal intelligence have the desired trait of empathy. They have high empathy and they use both verbal and non-verbal communication with others. The characteristics are they communicate verbally and non-verbally. Through your body language also you communicate a lot. And these people communicate both verbally and non-verbally. Be aware of different perspectives. What I think is not important. I have to also understand what are the other people thinking and what, before coming to a conclusion, a general consensus has to be formed so that there is a feeling of teamwork, of the we feeling rather than the I feeling in the group. Form meaningful relationships, resolve conflicts, establish rapport, feel more comfortable and confident, influence others, develop leadership skills. So, these are the characteristics of people who have high interpersonal intelligence. Activities to improve interpersonal intelligence, these can be teach and tutor others, participate in community services, listen actively. While you listen actively to others, you will be able to understand them better. So, first you listen, then you react. Practice empathy, be an active team member. Being an active team member is also very important, where being involved in your team and helping other team members more often. Whether you are a part of team at work or recreational team event, being an active team member not only means fulfilling your basic responsibilities, but also showing a genuine concern for the performance of the team as a whole. You can become a more active as a team member by acknowledging other people's efforts, offering your help, or fulfilling a leadership role when needed. So, the be a true team member, encourage everybody's participation, and give them their due credit before basking in the glory. Display social sensitivity. Do not make snide comments, do not make snide remarks. Appreciate, learn to appreciate, and display positive body language. You may be very, very good, you may be talking to others, but your body language says a different story. So there shouldn't be a contradiction between what you speak and how your body is speaking. It should be in harmony. Career options: politicians, manager, counselor, public relation manager, administrator, nurse, salespersons, etc. People with high interpersonal intelligence. These are a few examples of people with high interpersonal intelligence. Next, we will talk about intrapersonal intelligence. Interpersonal means आपस का, एक दूसरे के बीच का. बट व्हाट इज इंट्रापर्सनल? अपने अंदर झांकना, खुद को समझना. दूसरों को तो समझ लिया, दूसरों को समझ के अपनी बातें शेयर की, उसके अनुरूप व्यवहार किया, पर क्या खुद को समझा? खुद के स्ट्रेंथ वीकनेस को समझा? So, intrapersonal intelligence is also important. And people having this intelligence, they are able to self reflect and be aware of one's inner state of being. These learners try to understand their inner feelings, dreams, relationships with others, and their own strengths and weaknesses. This type of intelligence can help a person focus on planning and managing their lives. आप खुद के लिए समय निकालिए, पूरे दिन के काम के बाद जस्ट एट द नाइट टाइम पॉन्डर ओवर व्हाट हैव यू डन. क्या चीजें आपके हिसाब से सही हुई, क्या सही नहीं हुई, और अगर सही हुई तो was there a better way of executing the task? Did you give yourself the, like, did you perform to your fullest, or you could have excelled from what you have done right now? So all these things, looking within, is a part of intrapersonal intelligence. So characteristics of people with high intrapersonal intelligence includes the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning, that is their intuition. They are usually self-aware people, spend time reflecting of what has happened, how it could be, how it was, and how could it have been better. They are usually independent people. उनमें काफी लचीलापन होता है. They are very, very resilient. They prefer working alone, not necessarily, but usually they are introverted people. They are interested in self-employment, and they are imaginative. Activities to improve interpersonal intelligence is keeping a diary. A diary can help you to see what's going on around you from a different angle. Routinely keeping a diary also helps create awareness. It seems it is important to keep a routine of what you have been doing and how you can improve. Take thinking breaks. Thinking is one of the greatest abilities of mankind. You can develop your intrapersonal intelligence with short thought breaks. It doesn't matter what you think about. You will be shocked by the impact of your thoughts journey during your short breaks. बस सोचिए, दिमाग को खुली छूट दीजिए, जहां जाना चाहते हैं आप अपने दिमाग को ले जाइए, आपको पता चलेगा कि आप क्या कितना क्रिएटिव सोच सकते हैं. Develop social hobbies and be involved in personal development activities and read books. Focus on yourselves. All of you have reached a point in life where you are excelling in your field. But what about your own self development? आप कहाँ जा रहे हैं? आपने अपने लिए क्या किया? आप क्या कर सकते हैं? How can you enhance your own self? Have you reached that stagnation? So think about yourself, start doing something new. Career options: entrepreneur, historian, inventor, librarian, philosopher, psychologist, whole lot of lists are there. Whole lot of things are there in the list. People with high intrapersonal intelligence: Aristotle, Sigmund Freud, Socrates, Swami Vivekanand, lot many. नाउ लेट अस कम टू, जब हम हमेशा बोलते अपने क्लास में, उफ ये बच्चा 1 मिनट शांत नहीं बैठ सकता है, इसको जब देखो इधर से इधर बंदर की तरह उछलता है. Why? Have you ever thought about that? He has a lot of energy within him. उसके पास बोले तो एनर्जी का खजाना है. And how to channelize it? So these are the people whom we can say have this high body kinesthetic intelligence. मैं खुद की भी बात करूंगी. जब मुझे लेसन्स याद करने होते थे या जब मुझे किसी कॉन्सेप्ट को समझना होता था, जब मैं स्टडी करती थी, देन आई यूज टू परेड इन द रूम. मैं रूम ऊपर नीचे करके पढ़ती थी, जहां मैं टहल टहल के पढ़ती थी, सो दैट आई एम एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो माई मूवमेंट यूज टू हेल्प मी इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट. So there are people like me who have this high body kinesthetic intelligence. While talking also, I make a lot of gestures, my hands move, my facial expression is also there. So people always say when you talk you make a lot of gestures. So I believe all I fall into this kind of intelligence. So ability to control body movements and handle objects skillfully, and these learners express themselves through movement. They have a good sense of balance and eye and hand coordination. Through interacting with the space around them, they are able to remember and process information. So these people, they prefer bodily information over other forms. Movement serves as an aid to their memory, and they remember movements from others as well as their own. They seek out touching and manipulating objects when learning about them. इनको आप केवल डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दिखा करके हेल्प नहीं कर सकते. लेट देम फील. लर्निंग बाय डूइंग. जब तक वो छुएंगे नहीं, जब तक ऑब्जेक्ट्स को मैनिपुलेट नहीं करेंगे, nothing will happen. They need that. They need to sense. That tactile sensation is also important. That gross body motor sensation is also important for them. And they have a lot of energy and they need to move. And these people can be talented athletes. They are skilled at dancing and sports. They enjoy creating things with their own hands. They have excellent physical coordination and they remember by doing rather than hearing or seeing. And there are certain activities which can be done like play catch. We can give them a ball and ask them to catch it because it involves body eye mind coordination. So playing catch is just a simple exercise. It has a lot of coordination skills. Then they can take up physical performing arts like dancing, acting, gymnastics, etc. They can play physical games. हम लोग physical games खेलना ही छोड़ दिए हैं. बच्चे एनी टाइम मोबाइल के सामने हैं. उनको उनके मोबाइल की दुनिया से बाहर निकाल के उनको पेड़ पे चढ़ाना है, उनको सैंड पिट देना है, उनको बहुत तरह की चीजें देनी है, सो दैट दे प्ले फिजिकल गेम्स मोर. They can make forms of, we can ask them to make forms of letter A, B in the junior sections. They can take up storytelling. Storytelling means they have to, like we can ask them to do dumb charade kind of a thing, where they do not have to speak. Through their gestures, they have to take up the storytelling. It will be very, very interesting if we try it in our classrooms. Then obstacle course your way like hurdles and all, वो सब हम खिला सकते हैं उनको. फिर build things like Lego games और गिल्ली डंडा, इस तरह की बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हम बच्चों को करा सकते हैं. कंचे खेलना आजकल के बच्चे भूल गए हैं, पिट्टो हम लोग खेल सकते हैं. So these are the things which need to be revived. These Indian games need to be revived and brought to the classroom scenario. Career options like dancers, actors, craft person, mechanic, athlete, carpenter, and physical therapist. People with high kinesthetic intelligence. You can see a list here. You can name also some of the people who have this high bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Now come the naturalist intelligence. What is naturalist intelligence? People who love nature. They believe in the cause of nature. उनके लिए प्रिजर्व करना नेचर को बहुत जरूरी है. उनके लिए रिड्यूस, रीयूज, रिसाइकल बहुत बहुत जरूरी है. हम लोग क्लास में समझाते हैं, बट कितने लोग हम में से एक कॉन्शियस एफर्ट लगाते हैं इसके लिए. If I care for the nature, if I am naturalistically inclined, I will definitely take that step forward. So those who do it, we can call that they are people possessing high naturalist intelligence. These people, they have interest in the natural world of animals, plants, and natural work around them. They have this ability to recognize the plants, animals, to make distinction in the natural world, to understand the systems and define the categories. It is the ability to identify and classify pattern in the natural environment. हर एक लीफ की क्या खूबसूरती है, वो लीफ दूसरे लीफ से अलग कैसे है. कभी हमने सोचा है, कभी गौर से देखा है कि कोई एक पेड़ के जो जितने पत्ते हैं वो सब अलग अलग है. उनके स्ट्रक्चर में थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस जरूर रहता है, बट क्या हमारे पास इतना समय है, क्या हम में वो इंटेलिजेंस है कि हम उस चीज को समझ सके? अगर है तो हम नेचुरलिस्ट इंटेलिजेंस से हम में वो इंटेलिजेंस मौजूद है. There are a few characteristics of people with high naturalist intelligence, and let us see. They express a desire to understand how the things work. They care about the environment and like to be in touch with the nature. They are good at identifying the flora and fauna. They like to explore and discover new species and behavior. They are interested in using tools to help observation, microscope, binoculars, telescopes. They show an interest in science careers like biology, botany, chemistry, zoology, etc. They are animal lovers. They are good at noticing patterns in nature, good at maintaining garden and growing plants. They are aware of changes in the weather, and they are passionate about the preservation of the environment. Activities to improve the naturalistic intelligence are contact, nature walk through the woods or in the mountains, camping, visit to the zoos and aquariums. This can be taken up for students of the different level. As teachers, we can contact the school and the administration can help us. Then observation, once in contact with the nature, to strengthen this type of intelligence, it is important to closely observe the environment. Then explore. How do we explore? Through magnifying glasses or using a microscope or looking at the stars through telescopes and binoculars. There are so many things to explore. Then classification is also important, like with the help of the parents or through the help of the teachers, the child must learn to classify what they have found. वो क्या है, किस कैटेगरी में आता है, उसका क्लासिफिकेशन क्या है. They need help from the elders, but definitely we need to encourage them. Then hobby, encourage the youngers to have hobbies such as planting seeds at home or collecting fossils, stones, leaves, etc. Career options for the people with naturalist intelligence are a few examples of people who care for nature. Now, the final intelligence is the musical intelligence. What is musical intelligence? People who possess high degree of musical intelligence have this ability to produce and appreciate music. They are musically inclined learners and they think in sounds, rhythms, patterns. Visual वाले pictures में deal करते हैं, words वाले words में deal करते हैं. Musically intelligent जो लोग होते हैं, वो music में deal करते हैं. They think in music. They immediately respond to music, either appreciating or criticizing what they hear. Many of these learners are extremely sensitive to environmental sounds. वो टिप टिप टपक रही बूंदे हों या झिंगुर की आवाज हो, they are able to listen to them. It catches their attention fast. Characteristics of these people: they have the ability to learn songs or play musical instruments. They have a great sense of rhythm. They are good at dancing. They can identify different instruments played in a song. They seek patterns in their environment and use them to remember things. They can easily memorize words in different languages. They can easily remember songs. They have a high level of understanding of musical structure and notes. And especially हम बच्चों की म्यूजिकल इंटेलिजेंस के थ्रू उनको चैप्टर समझा सकते हैं, स्पेशली एट द प्री प्राइमरी एंड प्राइमरी लेवल, वेयर दीज पीपल टेक कीन इंटरेस्ट इन सॉन्ग एंड लिसनिंग टू सॉन्ग्स हेल्प देयर लर्निंग better. Activities to improve musical intelligence: name that tune. You can take them to concerts. You can ask them to take up music classes. They can play a variety of musical instruments, etc. Career options: musician, disc jockey, singer, and composer. People with high musical intelligence, and yesterday the whole nation was mourning the death of our beloved Lata Mangeshkar ji. So she was one of the examples of people possessing high musical intelligence, and our namans to her. Now, traditional view of intelligence versus multiple intelligence theory. The traditional view of intelligence propounded that we are born with a particular amount of intelligence which can neither be increased or it cannot be expanded. And people, it used to consider the verbal linguistic intelligence and mathematical intelligence as the intelligent the as the intelligence. But multiple intelligence theory, as we have seen, has broadened the entire concept of intelligence. So let us see the contrast between these two. The traditional view propounded that intelligence can be measured by short answer test, but multiple intelligence view proposes that the short answer test only measures rote memorization skill and not one's ability to do and not one's ability or deeper understanding of a concept. Multiple intelligence doesn't focus on short answer type. It promotes the open-ended questions, the analytical level questions, where people are supposed to have their own ideas, give their own thoughts. Their thoughts are reflected in their answers. And traditional view propose that people are born with a fixed amount of intelligence. But multiple intelligence has this, that human beings have all of the intelligence, but each person has a unique combination of profile. हम लोग सभी में ये हमने 8 जो इंटेलिजेंस टाइप को डिस्कस किया है, हम में ये सभी कुछ मौजूद है, बट कौन सा इंटेलिजेंस हमारे में ज्यादा है और किसका कॉम्बिनेशन हमारे में ज्यादा है, ऐसा हम नहीं बोलेंगे दैट आई एम बॉडीली काइनेस्थेटिकली इंटेलिजेंट. आई हैव ऑल द इंटेलिजेंसेस, बट a few of them are greater in comparison to the other intelligences, and the combination of few can be improved, right? Intelligence level does not change over a lifetime, but By multiple intelligence, we feel it propounds that we can all improve each of the intelligences. Though some people will improve more readily in one intelligent area than at others. But then again, the theory says we cannot give up because there is always a scope of improvement. So it promotes the open-minded theory rather than the closed-minded theory of intelligence. Nothing in the world is fixed, it can always be improved upon. Traditional view says intelligence consists of ability in logic and language, whereas MI says there are more types of intelligence which reflect different ways of interacting with the world. Yes, socially, interpersonal intelligence नहीं होगा तो logic से ही आप क्या कर लोगे, right? आप word से ही क्या कर लोगे अगर आप में mathematical intelligence नहीं होगा. So all types of intelligences are important. In the traditional view, teachers teach the same material to everyone. But after multiple intelligence has become important in the teaching area, so teachers take into account the different abilities of the learner, and based on that, they give them differential learning. But their styles are differentiated according to the abilities of the learner, and we should try and assess them also based on their differential abilities. In the traditional view, a teacher teaches a topic or a subject. But here in multiple intelligence, they introduce a topic, and through questioning, a lot of discussion happens, and one question leads to another, the second leads to the third leads to the fourth, and then a combination of all subjects through one topic or through one question, we can interlink a lot of subjects together. Interdisciplinary approach is also one of the important characteristics of multiple intelligence. Now let us see the various intelligence, the teaching activities, the teaching materials, the instructional strategies, and the presentation skills. In verbal linguistic, teaching activities that can be taken up are lectures, discussions, word games, storytelling, and journal writing. Materials could be books, tape recorders, stamp sets, and book on tape, iPods, and all, podcasts, and all. Instructional strategies like how can we improve it, read about it, write about it, listen about it, and how can we present? Teach through storytelling. Logical, mathematical, what are the teaching activities? We can give them brain teasers, problem solving, science experiments, mental calculations, number games, critical thinkings. Then teaching materials could be calculators, science equipments, and maths games. Instructional strategies, quantify it, think critically about it, put it in a logical framework, experiment with it. And the presentation skill could be Socratic questioning, that is, argumentative, thought provoking questions which leads to critical thinking. Question answers get through, and these question answers are well structured and very disciplined kind of question answers, and it enhances the critical thinking in the child, and through that they come to a conclusion and they find solutions to the problem. Next, intelligence is the visual spatial. Here, the teaching activities could be visual presentations, art activities, imaginations, games, visualizations, metaphor. Teaching materials could be graphs, maps, videos, art materials, cameras, pictures, library. Instructional strategies could be see it, draw it, visualize it, color it, and mind map it. And presentation skill could be through drawing, mind mapping concepts, flow charts, through graphs, Venn diagrams, etc. Interpersonal skills, teaching activities could be cooperative learning, team building exercises, peer tutoring, community involvement, social gathering, simulation, etc. Teaching materials could be board games, party supply props for role plays, Instructional strategies could be teach it, collaborate on it, interact with respect to it, and sample teacher presentation skill could be dynamically interacting with the students, role plays, etc. For intrapersonal intelligence, teaching activities could be individualized instructions, independent study, option in course of study, self esteem building. Teaching materials, self checking materials for projects, strategies connected to your personal life. You give them a situation and then say, connected to your personal life. If you would have been in that place, what would you have done? Make choices with regard to it, reflect on it. Why did he do so? Etc. Questions, reflective questions can also be given. Then sample teacher presentation skill, bringing feeling into the presentation. Body kinesthetic, hands-on learning, drama, dance, sports that teach tactile activities, relaxation exercises. Teaching material could be building tools, clay, sports equipment, manipulative, tactile learning resources, etc. Instructional strategies could be build it, act it out, touch it, get a gut feeling of it, dance it out. And presentation skills could be using gestures, dramatic expressions, etc. Naturalist, nature study, ecological awareness, care of animals. Then teaching materials could be plants, animals, naturalist tools, gardening tools, etc. Instructional strategies could be connect to the living things and natural phenomena. And sample presentation skill could be linking subject matter to natural phenomena. Musical could be rhythmic learning, rapping using songs that teach, tape recorder, collection, musical instruments. Strategies could be instructional strategies could be sing it, rap it, listen to it, and you can sing a song and do the presentation. So these were the 8 intelligences which we have covered. One more intelligence Howard Gardner has spoken of, and that is existential intelligence. And that intelligence is इन सब चीजों से ऊपर होना. That is, we can take example, give example of Lord Buddha, Lord Mahavira, people with high spiritual instinctive are Gurudev Swami Chinmayanand, and so many other people who had this high existential intelligence. But in our classroom situation, we would take these 8 intelligences up. So we have come to the end of the topic. Are there any questions which you would like to ask? Any questions? And as far as the general question that always arises about the attendance link, there will be no attendance link provided. Your attendance will be automatically recorded, and please, if the details are being, there will be no details asked. So you can just wait for your certificate generation, and it will be informed to you. If you have any question, please you may type it in your chat box. I think there are no questions, so we can conclude the session. Kunalji, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. If you have completed the session, then you can leave the meeting.
So I would request, we have come to the end of the session. So with the thank you slide, I would like to conclude this session. Thank you all for being a part of this session. And I hope all of you will take this learning to your classroom teaching scenario.